and share my screen. So is my screen visible to you? Okay. So in our previous class we wrote Java programs to read the content character after character and to write the content in terms of string values. Now we will try to write a program which is going to read multiple lines of text. Let's say a text file is there which contains some 10 lines of text. If I keep reading the data character after character, it takes a lot of time, right? So instead there must be a provision, there must be a possibility that should allow me to read one complete line of text at a time from the text file, right? So let's do that. So let's create a new program called read lines, which is going to read the data from a text file called myfile.txt line after line, right? So who want to be the presenter? Shikanya, shall I make you the presenter? Rishita, Raja Singh, anyone? Okay. So I'm making Shikanya the presenter. So please share your screen and launch Eclipse. Okay, it's already there. Go to Eclipse and let's create a new program in that com.io practice package. New class, read lines. Take the main method as well. And here let's create a file object like this. Copy this one line of code and paste it inside your main method. Okay, and this is going to create a file object for you. Then based on this file object, I would like to create file input stream object or file reader, anything I can do. But let us deal with the file reader, file writer we already dealt in our previous program. So now let's take these two lines and paste them just below that. File input stream and then the data input stream. Right, so we need to surround with try catch block. Right, even cut this line 19 and paste it inside the try block. Right, so even the declaration also you can do it inside the file. At line number 14 you can put file input stream class name. Cut that from line 12. Only class name, no need of the variable. Paste it there at line 14. I can do the same thing on the same line. Line 15 you can delete up to equal to and take that onto the previous line. Right, delete it before equal to. Right, put equal to. Right, Control Shift F. So it is going to create the file input stream object based on the given input file object. Then based on this input stream it is creating a data input stream object for us. Now we want to keep reading the data based on its availability, right? So let's do that job. So as long as data is available through that data stream object, and keep reading that data by using the method, because file input stream is providing you a method called read, which is able to read only one character. And this time I am taking data stream object, which is allow me to read a complete line of text. So copy these lines after line 15. Copy this while loop, right, and paste it there after line 15. Right, Control Shift F. So as long as data stream is available, means data is there. Yeah, you need to add one more catch clause. You can write. So after file not found exception, it is added one more IO exception. Because while reading the data, there is a possibility of throwing input output exception. So that's why it is. Right, save this. So one more catch block gets added to the existing try block. So it is verifying for the data availability. When it becomes 0 means there is no data. Right, then data stream dot read line, it is going to read one complete line of text into the string variable, and we are printing that. Right, save this and try to run this. Let's see what is the output it is going to show you. We are getting an error. So this error is saying that java.io.file not found exception. My file.txt is not available. So let's create that. Right click on your core Java practice and create a new file. Name it as myfile.txt. My file, small. No, we gave the small file name, file naming. Yeah. Finish. And just try to add few lines of text here. Okay, write all the batch mates names: Josna, Rishita, Raja Singh, Ahmad. Okay, save this. Now go back to your readlines.java. Now try to run that program. So this time it should not throw you any file not found exception. So say run as Java application. There you go. So it is reading complete one line of text. That is what readline method is doing. Thus if you go to your read content Java program, open that read content.java. So it is reading only one character at a time. So see in.read we said. So it is reading only one character, but readline method is not there in the file reader and it is not there in the file input stream. So that's the reason we have taken the another object called data input stream to read one complete line of text there. Right? So got it? Now let's say I want to copy the data from one file to the other file. I want to copy some data from one file to the other file. So how can I do that? For example, open your intest.txt or myfile.txt is there. So right now myfile.txt just now we created. Right? So in this myfile.txt there are 6 lines of content is in it in this file. So I want to copy this file into another file. I want to copy this data into another file. So how can I do that? Programmatically. So we know that if we say Control C and then Control V, it is going to be creating another copy of the file. But the same job I want to do it through the Java.io classes. So let's create a new program. new class, name it as file copy. Okay, take the main method. Okay, so create these two file objects there, copy these two lines, input file and output file. So input file object I am creating it based on myfile.txt, and output file I am trying to create it as yourfile.txt, right? So two file objects gets created here. Now based on the input file object, it should read the data, and from that data, from that file whatever it read, it should be writing into the another file. Means based on the input file object we need to create file reader, and based on that output file we need to create file writer. So copy these two lines as well. Yeah, leave some space after those two file objects. After line 9 press one more enter. Yes, perfect. Control Shift O will take care of data import. I mean all these imports. Control Shift O you can do. So if you do it, it is done only for file reader. But Control Shift O is done for both file reader and file writer. Right, so both are there. But it is giving you an error while creating these objects. It is because you will not be able to read the data when file is not existing, hence it is going to cause you the compile time exception, file not found. And for file writer, it is going to cause you the IO exception. So that's why if you keep the cursor there on line 13 and 14, it will show you unhandled exceptions. That you can either surround it with try catch, or you can add throws declaration also. Yeah, add throws declaration. You can take the IO exception, which is the super class, so one throws is sufficient. Right. Save this. Press Ctrl Shift O so that line number 4 will go away. Unused import it is. That statement is not used. Right, save this. So input file is ready, output file is ready. Based on the input file, reader is ready. Based on the output file, file writer is ready. Right? So now what do we need to do? We need to keep reading the data and then writing the data as long as the data is available. I mean till it reaches the end of the file. So copy this. So you are going to read character by character by saying while C not equal to -1, and whatever that C you are reading, immediately you are writing it to that file writer object, right? So when there is no more data, it is going to terminate that while loop, and after you come out of this while loop, you need to close those file reader and file writer objects and then display this message sysout. Copy these two lines, three lines. Right, we are trying to close those two objects, in.close, out.close, and then we are trying to display the message saying that the content of input file is copied into output file successfully. Save this. So we know that my file.txt is existing there and your file.txt is not there. So since it is passed to the file writer object, it should get created if it is not existing. Right, so let's verify this. Run as Java application. So it displayed a message saying that the content of my file.txt is copied to your file.txt successfully. So go to your package explorer and refresh your project core Java practice, and you can see that new file got created. Right click on core Java practice refresh, your file.txt is created, right? Does it copy the same content as it is there from your my file to your file? Yes, it is. All the 6 lines. Even that 6th line, blank line also gets copied over there. Right? So this is how we'll be able to do this file copy program. Right? So this file copy program is done by using file reader and file writer, which are the character stream classes. The same job would also be done by using the byte stream classes. So for that purpose, I need to replace file reader with file input stream and file writer with file output stream. Rest all remain same. So that program is already there in your PDF. So I think this PDF is already shared with you, isn't it? Java 11 PDF, is it shared with you? Hope it is there. Right, it is there. So in that, I'm leaving that one program to modify it as a file copy byte stream classes to you so that you can take care of that. And then one more program I want you to write to count the lines and words in a file. For example, if you look at your myfile.txt, so we know that there are 5 lines of data, 6 lines of data including the blank lines. And how many words? So every name is one word. Only Raja Singh contains 2 words. So better in case if you want to take some little lengthy thing, so go to Google and bring some essay. So that helps you to count the number of lines and number of words. Go to Google and search for Sachin Tendulkar or search for Donald Trump. So copy one paragraph of text there from Wikipedia or whatever. Yeah, couple of methods are deprecated from data stream. So we are going to use the alternate methods down the line. We are coming there. Yep, copy those two and just replace your myfile.txt. Control A and paste this content. Now break it into multiple lines. Just keep the cursor somewhere in between on line 7 and press enter. Is an American, enter. Yeah. Then enter somewhere else. Right. Right. Try to make as many lines as possible. Even that line 7 is still you can break, I think. Line 7 is the longest line it looks like for me. Right. As well as, yes. Right. Yeah. Perfect. And I think line 11 is, it is not going to save. Cancel. And because just remove that the Donald John Trump, after that within brackets something is there before born, so all those characters you can delete. Yes, born you can keep, that you can delete. Yes, save. Now it should be saved. Right. And you can delete your first 5-6 lines. 1 to 6 you can delete. Right, makes more sense. Remove that line 1 also. So now I want to try to, yeah, you can still, there is a lengthy line, line number 4 I believe, because horizontal scroll bar is there. Right, fine, save it. You can push that during his career onto next line, on line 6. Save it. Right. Perfect. So altogether 19 lines of text is there. So I want to count. I know how to read this. So if I now run that readlines.java program, go there to your readlines Java and try to run that. It is able to read all these lines, right? But I want to count how many lines of text is there in it and how many words are there. That I want to do programmatically. So let's see how do we do that. So the current program, whatever you have, read lines, just say save as, file save as. It is already open. Readlines.java is already open. No, it is already open. Click the file menu. File save as, right. Count lines and words. Rename this class as count lines and words dot java. Dot java is required. It is not going to add dot java. You are renaming the file. Right. Okay. Keep the cursor there. No, no, no. No need. No need. No need. Don't break your head. Eclipse will do that for you. Keep the cursor there. Choose the suggestion. Next one is required. Yep. Next one. Rename type to count lines and words. Because the class name should be same as the source file name, especially the public class. Right. Save this. So we know that here the input file is given, file input stream is given, data input stream is taken, and also the variable string data is taken. Okay. Then I want to add these more variables before entering into the while loop. So copy this line counter variable, word counter variable at line 17, and also try to display two sysouts. Right. Control Shift F. So it is going to show you content in the file. Input file dot get name is as follows. Underline that. And then it keeps reading the data, and it is going to show you the data on your console. Now we want to count the number of words from that data variable. So after sysout at line 25, copy these two lines. So how do you know that how many words are there in each string? If we will be able to split that string wherever space occurred. So words are separated by spaces. So we need to split it. We need to split that string. So we are doing it. Data.split is going to return split at space. So that space is given there within double quotes. Right? So it is going to give us an array of words. And because that words is a string array, if I say dot length, it returns me the number of words in that string, in that particular line of text. Right? And that gets added to your word counter. And after that, after splitting into words, you need to increment the line counter as well. So you have a variable there, line counter. So you can say line counter plus plus like this after that word counter variable. Copy this, and after you come out of your while loop, you need to print how many lines are there and how many words are there, all that by using your sysout. So copy this sysout and paste it. Right. Yeah, you can paste there after the while loop. Right. Save and try to run it. So this is going to count me the number of lines and number of words. Make the console little bigger or maximize the console. Let's see the complete output. Right. So content in the file myfile.txt is as follows. So this was the content. So there were 19 lines and there were 226 words in this file. Right? Does it make sense? So this is how we are going to work with these things. Any questions? So any more questions on this? Okay, if no more questions, let's move on further. See, right now, since our file reader and file writer or file input stream is not providing us a method to read one complete line of text, we have taken the support of data input stream object in this case. But the data input stream object is providing the read line method, and if you observe that read line method which is striked out, your Eclipse shows that read line method as striked out. That indicates it is a deprecated method. So as per the recommendations from Java people that such striked out methods or the deprecated methods are not encouraged to use. Means going forward, this method is going to be taken away from the Java API. So that is why it is indicated in the striked out format. So we should not encourage to use such deprecated methods. So as a replacement for these deprecated methods, there are a couple of other classes provided which will be helpful to you to read complete string or to write complete string into your text file, which is nothing but buffered reader, buffered writer. So buffered reader provides you both read line and read method. So it allows you to read either a single character or read the complete line of text, right? And similarly, buffered writer is there which helps you to write complete string, to add a new line, all that, right? So let's do those things, right? So we wanted to avoid this deprecated method. Let's not modify this program. So we'll try to write another program which is going to demonstrate the usage of buffered reader, buffered writer things. Okay. So create a new Java program or new class. Name it as save data. Okay, I want to read the data from the console and I want to save that data into a file. Okay. So let me create the input stream reader object based on my keyboard, which is going to be referenced as system.in, and on that keyboard I would like to create the reader object which is a buffered reader, right? No, control shift O, control shift O, right, perfect, right? So buffered reader object is created here, and now using this buffered reader I would like to read the data, and whatever the data that I am going to read it, I would like to write it into the file. So for that purpose, let us create the file object, file writer, buffered writer, all these things. Leave one space and then paste these writing activities. Leave a blank space, right, control shift O, right? So keep the cursor on file writer which is causing unhandled exception, add throws declaration, right? It will take care about the IO exception. Save it. You save it, it will go away. By default it is anyway IO exception is selected. Right. So file name is given there as savedata.txt. So whatever the data I am going to read, that I would like to save it into that savedata.txt file. So let us prompt a message on console to enter some data and read the data using your buffered reader object. Copy these two lines. Right? So it is prompting me to enter data to be saved in the file. And see here, if you observe, the readline method is not deprecated because this readline method is invoking on the buffered reader object, hence it is not deprecated. Right? So how long I need to keep reading the data till I enter some capital X or small x. Right? So take this while loop. Whether it is capital X, exit, or stop reading and writing. Otherwise keep reading and keep writing all the data into your file writer object by using the buffered writer. So this time why we are using file writer and then buffered reader, because the data that is read by the buffered reader should be written by using its counterpart. So that is the reason we took buffered writer object, so which keep writing the data by using write method of it, writer.write of data. So your string variable is written into that, and then it is going to add a new line by saying writer.newLine method, and then again it is trying to read one more line into your data variable. If it is not equal to x, then keep writing it and then keep adding new line and again read. So when you enter x, the while loop is getting terminated and is displaying a message saying that data is saved into that save data.txt file successfully. And after that we are closing all those objects which were kept open. Right? Save this, try to run this. Okay. So try to enter some data to be saved. Trump is the new president of America. Press enter. No 500 nodes, no 1000 nodes in India. Then write one more line. Good night. Good night to everybody. Good night to all. Okay. Then say thank you. And then press enter, and X means exit. Type either small x or capital X. Anything is fine. Press enter. So you got to see the message. Data saved into savedata.txt successfully. Let's verify whether the txt file is created or not. Right click on your core Java practice project and refresh it. Do you see savedata.txt file got created there? Check that. Does it write all the data that you wrote it, that you read it by using your buffered reader? Yes, it is. Right, so you added 5 lines of code, 5 lines of text into this savedata.txt file. Right? So this is how we'll be able to work with this buffered reader and buffered writer objects. Right? Similar to these things, there are few more things which are known as object input stream and object output stream. So far we have seen read method and read line method. Now in addition to these things, in case if we want to read the data in terms of primitive data types like write int, write char, write bytes, write double, right? So if the data is written in terms of double data, integer data, all that, so the same data we wanted to read back, so that job is going to be done by using object input stream and object output stream calls. So let's try that. So how can we play with the data operations? Create one more program, name it as data IO test. Data IO test. So we would like to prepare a kind of invoice by writing the data. So copy this object output stream. So I would like to create a new file output stream called invoice.txt. Alright. Yeah, add the throws declaration. IO exception you can take. Right. Control Shift O. So no need of putting IO exception, comma IO exception. One IO exception is sufficient. One you can delete. Right. Delete that comma also. Okay. Now I would like to write all this data using this object output stream. Copy these double values, int values and string values. So all are arrays, three different types of arrays I am trying to take and would like to prepare an invoice by using this. So 5 different items are there with 5 different units and 5 different prices. Like say I want to buy 12 Java t-shirts at the cost of at the rate of 19.99 each, 8 Java mugs at the rate of 9.99 each. So that way I wanted to prepare an invoice. So prices are kept in one array, which is a double array, units in an integer array, and all their description of items in string array, right? So now I would like to write all this data into the file. Copy this for loop, which is going to do that writing job. So if I can loop through any one array, that is sufficient. I mean the condition is sufficient because all those arrays are equal in size. So I say I less than prices dot length. So prices is 5 elements, units also 5 elements, descriptions also 5 elements. So the for loop is going to be repeated for 5 times. And I want to read the value of prices of I and write it as a double value. So I am using write double method. So after writing the double value, I want to leave a tab space. Right, so write char a tab space. Then the tab space is nothing but one character. Then write that integer value by using writeInt method, again tab space, and then the description is going to be written there as an object, and then add a new line. So that new line is also another character. So after writing one complete item information and you are moving on to the new line and then reading the next item and then writing all that. So try to save this and run this. So this is going to prepare invoice.txt because you mentioned on line number 10 file name as invoice.txt. So since no sysout statements kept, nothing is displayed on your console. But the file name that would have been created there is invoice.txt as you mentioned on line 10. So if you see your line 10 is showing you new object output stream of new file output stream, and that file output stream name is given there as invoice.txt. Verify that whether it has created invoice.txt or not. Refresh the project and you can see that invoice.txt is created, right? Because you wrote the data in double format, char format, int format, object format, all that. It is not in a plain text readable format, right? So the data that is written by using your object output stream is to be read back by using object input stream, right? So let us read all the data back, whatever you wrote in invoice.txt. So let's read it. So for reading purpose, we need to have this object input stream. So let's create the object input stream. Copy this object or input stream object, which is going to be new file input stream of invoice.txt. Each price, each unit, each item, I need to read them separately. So you can bring it after closing your out object. Cut that line 13. So after your writing job is done, come down after line 27. Press one more enter and paste it there. Control Shift F. Right, corrected. Now just below that line 28 you can take these individual variables like price variable, unit variable, description of every item, and also I wanted to find out the total of this invoice, pricing, all that. So separate variables. After these variables you can copy this try block. Okay. After that you need to bring copy that, paste it. So as we keep on reading the data, so it should be read till it reaches the end of file exception, EO exception, UOF end of file exception, right? So we just kept the infinite while loop there. We said while true means that while loop is keep on executing as long as true is true. So true is always true. So it keeps reading the data there. 1 second guys, I am muting for a minute. Okay, so here we are trying to catch the DOF exception because we are looping through that by mentioning while true. So as long as true is true, it keeps looping through. So it should be terminated at somewhere. So it will get terminated whenever exception comes. So instead of terminating my program abruptly, so we are catching that exception by keeping that try catch block. And it keep reading the data. So the data that you wrote it as write double, you are reading it back by using read double. And you wrote the data as a character tab space. So we don't want that tab space. So just we'll say in.read char. So tab space is read but it is not utilized. Then read int, it is the counter for your write int. Again read char. Then counter for write object is read object, which is going to return you the typecasted string value. And then you are going to print all those messages and then calculating the total price of the invoice as well. Save this and try to run this now. So this time it is going to print all those details on your console. So you can see on your console order of 12 units of Java t-shirt at $19.99. Right? So all these values we are trying to read them in terms of appropriate primitive data types. Right? So this is all possible when we go with the object input stream and object output stream. You can also do the same thing by using data output stream, data input stream, all that, but since the data input stream is providing you some deprecated methods, so as a measure of avoiding the usage of those deprecated methods, we have taken the help of this object output stream and object input stream, so that way we are going to play around with, right? But nowadays, after the introduction of that scanner class, which is a new component that is added from java.util.scanner, it itself takes care of all these activities. So we need not to break our heads deep into this java.io or respective classes, right? So that is all about your input output handling. So any questions? I'm going to upload this PDF to you, so you can download the PDF and you can start working with that. Okay, Java12.pdf is getting uploaded there, and after some time I'll also be uploading the MP4 for you, right? And hopefully tomorrow we'll start working with some date related operations and slowly moving towards the collections framework. Right, so let us target to complete the collections framework all that by this Monday, so that after that, I mean this core Java programming I took it a little slowly because I want to make sure that everyone is understanding properly, because core Java is pretty important. So without core Java knowledge, if you go to the advanced things, it would be little bouncy. So I just wanted to make sure that that's the reason we went little slow. And once core Java is completed, obviously the speed is going to be little bit more, little faster, right? So that's all for today from my end. Do you have any questions? Right, so please practice all these things. While practicing, if you are getting into any trouble, any questions or that, so don't hesitate to ask me. Or even you can ask me in the next class also, I don't mind. Right? So that's all for now. Shall we stop here? Okay? Chalo then. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Rishita. Thank you all. I'm terminating the meeting for now. Right? See you then.